What do you think is the most interesting psychology phenomenon? Deja vu. To have such a strong feeling that an instance has happened before is crazy, like you experienced it in the past, or dreamed of it. Denial. The many answers to evade the truth are very creative. Denial is rooted in perception of threat. If you manage to convey the same words in a way that doesn't make it as a threat, you'll shave off most of it. Why do people have favorites? Like a favorite color or a favorite flower? Or a favorite child? Damn it, Mom. What did I do to you? Locus of control, lock. Lock basically is how you view control over your own life. People either have an internal lock where they believe they have the power to control their own lives, or an external lock where you believe everything in life comes from a source other than yourself. I got fired because my boss hates me. I was late because traffic, etc. Now, what's interesting is that studies have shown people with an internal lock find greater satisfaction and success in almost every aspect of life, except one: being in a nursing home. Drives internal lock people crazy while external lock people thrive. Dissociative disorders. A dissociative disorder is a mental disorder that involves experiencing a disconnection and lack of continuity between thoughts, memories, surroundings, actions and identity. People with dissociative disorders escape reality in ways that are involuntary and unhealthy and cause problems with functioning in everyday life. Cotard delusion, also known as walking corpse syndrome, where the sufferer genuinely believes that they are dead, don't exist, or have no internal organs. Absolutely crazy. I can't imagine what it feels like walking around feeling actually, genuinely dead. I experienced this for a period of time after my dad passed away when I was young. It was terrifying and traumatic. I felt as if I was hollow inside, with no organs or vessels, just empty muscle, and was a ghost that everyone else could see. Thankfully those delusions don't plague my life anymore, but it was so dark and awful. Dreaming. Even though everyone does it, it's amazing that our minds create virtual realities for us nightly. If you can lucid dream, it can be more entertaining than any game technology has invented. I find dreaming fascinating, not just how dreams occur and their functions, but how it affects your memories and emotions too. In dreams, memories can be so different to real life. You can dream someone you don't know, who is completely made up only to feel like you knew them forever, complete with a set of memories together. The intensity of emotions are heightened as well, and you can stop feeling those emotions upon waking up. Folia do. That two people can have the same shared psychosis or better yet hallucinations is just insane, the transference there. As a psych major this one gets me. For me it is the unconscious mind and the fact that it accounts for the majority of our cognitive activity. I think it's interesting how we can simultaneously both know and not know things. It is also interesting, and perhaps even frightening, that we are not running the show to the extent that we think we are, at least not consciously. I like catching my unconscious mind making decisions for me. The one that I've catched the most is actually when to get up out of bed. You would think that is a decision that your conscious mind makes, but if you think about it soon after sitting up you'll realize you just kinda did it without actually deciding to get up. It's weird. How I can have a surprise in my dream. Like something will happen and I'll be confused about it, then someone will explain it by giving new information, and then it makes sense. But all of this is created by my own brain while I'm dreaming. How can I reveal new information to myself to explain something? How laughter affects people. Laughter is basically the yin to stress is yang, which inspires me to make people laugh when I can, as I don't know what they're going through. Laughter increases things like dopamine, and can even help soothe physical pain sometimes. Even smiling, lifting the corners of your mouth, alone has positive effects on you, even if you force it. If you get yourself to be really happy and excited to see other people, they will react the same to you. It doesn't always happen the first time, but it will definitely happen next time. Time and again this has always worked fine for me. If you're talking to someone intently and you hand them something, more often than not they'll take it. Doesn't matter if it's a book, a pen or an orange. No idea what the phenomenon is called or if it's even psychological, but it's made for some great pranks. In the same vein, you can look straight up towards the sky in a public location, and everyone else around you will look up, too. Similar results if you start screaming on a flight. I'm amazed at the number of people who freeze in a disastrous situation like a sinking ship. People who survive tragedies like that always report that there's not nearly the amount of panic and confusion that you'd expect. A lot of people freeze in place and simply can't move, even as the water is rising around them. Families have been split up in situations like this, where 2 of them can move, but the other 3 can't. Playing. When 2 animals play with each other, they both communicate aggression. They show fangs, claws, they bite, they go for the neck, etc. Everything about it should communicate danger, but they never feel endangered, even when one animal accidentally hurts another. This happens even when animals are playing with animals they have barely known for some time. It blows my mind how the right context completely transforms all the communication between animals who play. Prospect theory, the idea that people perceive gain and loss unequally, where a loss has about twice as much impact on a person as a gain of same amount. People will take unnecessary risks to avoid loss. The gambler's fallacy, specifically, how the same series of events can lead to 2 different conclusions. Assume you have a perfectly fair coin. You toss it 5 times and get 5 heads. You then ask 2 people what they think the 6th toss will be. Person A thinks that heads is obviously on a roll, so he bets on heads. Person B thinks that heads has happened too many times, which means that tails has to come up, so he bets on tails. They are both wrong. The odds of the 6th throw remain the same, regardless of what happened in the past. Note that this only works if the coin is fair. Sunk cost fallacy as well, where you have devoted so much time resources into something to where it makes it harder to just let go. For example, a long-term relationship you know is doomed, you're more likely to try and hang on to it due to all of the work you put in and the fear of losing all that progress. The monkey sphere. Simply put, how your brain has evolved to have an upper limit on the number of people you can conceptualize as people, after which they just become people, and are then clumped into groups, the perception of which can be warped drastically by hearsay, the media, your own bias, etc. Which goes a very long way to explain why many things in human society are the way they are. The placebo effect. The idea that belief in something can actually have a positive impact on the body just seems so crazy to me. Also helped me realize inversely why stress and anxiety can take such a toll on you. Funny enough, placebo also works when you know it's placebo. Somehow, deep down, there is something in you that wants to believe despite all reasonable arguments against it. Also, nocebo is a thing. When you expect something to harm you, it will. It makes a lot of treatments complicated. On one hand, you want the patient aware of the side effects. On the other, you don't want them to generate them by the nocebo effect. The Troxler effect. A psychological phenomenon where if one is put into a dimly lit room, then look at their self in the mirror for an extended period of time, they will see things in the mirror, but only the mirror. It is caused by the human brain being able to only experience so little at a time. There are things you aren't paying attention to and therefore don't experience. For instance, your blinking pattern or how the air feels. Your brain deems it irrelevant, so it just cuts them off to process other stuff. When in the dimly lit room looking at the mirror, your brain deems stuff in the mirror irrelevant and just simply removes it from your sight. But it still has to put something there, but because it's irrelevant and doesn't know what to put there, it tries its best to fill in that void, and in doing so, makes something weird happen. I'm pretty sure there was an instance where someone tried this, and their mouth stretched out across their cheeks. The brain didn't know what to put on the cheeks, because it was deemed irrelevant, so it tried to fill the gap and failed. One of the most popular cases of this would be Bloody Mary. This could also happen without a mirror. Ever just be in your room and out of the corner of your eye you see something looking at you, peeking around the door, but when you focus on it, nothing was there? That would be the Troxler effect. That's all for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is simply watch the videos. But if you really want to see the channel thrive, subscribe, like, comment, add to favorites, add to playlist, and share with friends. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Reddit and Insta. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you with tomorrow's upload.